Good evening. Good evening. God bless you. It's Apostle Gretchel, and I have a very special guest. It's been a minute since I've been on, so welcome, welcome, welcome. You want to tag a friend, invite somebody, share, because you are in for a treat. It's been a while, like I said, but we are going to go on and get started. Want to introduce you to my very special guest. Her name is Sonjia Pelton-Sam. Hey, tell everybody who you are. Tell us a little bit about you.
Hey everybody, my name is Sonjia Pelton-Sam, as she said, also known as the Glam Coach, where I help you G get up, L love yourself, A affirm your belief, and M is some things that you can make happen right now in your life and in your business with God by your side. I help people on two spectrums. I started off as just life coaching, doing more vision and planning for your life. Now I do a lot more businesses, so a lot more business coaching, helping people come up with journals, workbooks, planners, courses, landing pages, anything that you can think of in the business sector. But I'm excited to be here because we're getting ready to talk about something interesting about how I even got into this place during my long journey and process.
Yes. I met Sonia right before COVID, probably about 5 years ago. She's from Houston, but she's in the Houston area. And I met her. I was so impressed because, during the beginning of the year, we talk a lot about vision boards and vision casting. And recently, I just did a conference that talked about Vision Up. And what I loved about what she had at the time, it was sold on Etsy. I don't know if it's still there anymore, but it was I call it, in my words, a twist on your vision. And so she didn't cut out things out of a magazine, go to the library like many of us have done, but she created uh, her own product. So tell us a little bit about that vision casting that I'm talking about. Then we get into our discussion for the night.
So what I do is vision boarding, but we focus more on fixing yourself from the inside out, right? And so what I've learned a lot in life is that people, we love to focus on everything we want to get, right? Where we want to go, things we want to do, but we forget about focusing on our inner selves, right? What God is trying to do and fix in us to get us to that place. And so then another thing that I started noticing were celebrities dying. We had Michael Jackson, we've had Kate Spade, the biggest deal of her life, right? We tell ourselves, oh, if I had the money or was getting the kind of deal, I wouldn't do that. But then life happens, and we don't know like how tragic life can be, especially if you don't have yourself built up for the storm. And so I stay in the Houston area now. And so what I've learned is before the storm happens, we start talking about storm preparedness, readiness, a readiness plan, right? So you have to get all those documents in place. You need to know where everything is, right? You have everything in place before the storm happens, whether it happens, whether it doesn't happen, right? It's a yearly prepping and planning that they tell us to do around the area. Anywhere when you go around the Gulf, around water, they have you plan. And so the same thing in life is true, is that we plan before anything happens, right? Because money won't make you happy, success won't make you happy, getting a new man, the husband won't make you happy, the ring don't make you happy, the kids don't make you happy, the new job won't make you happy. Because there's trials and tribulations that you got to go through in every step of life. And so we put words, quotes, scriptures around like things like ourselves or around what we want. We're putting things to build ourselves up in faith so that if the storm happens that you don't fall off in the horror times. And so that's kind of really how that started.
Right. And I just love it. I just love it. What we're going to talk about tonight is in a few weeks, I'm getting ready to host an event here in the Austin area because it's manifestation time. Every year we have some little slogan that rhymes with the year, but it's truly time for all of us to stop talking about doing something and just take action. And many times we have excuses. One of my former mentors, Pastor Monica Haskell, always said that excuse is a reason wrapped up in a lie. So we can come up with all kinds of excuses to get out of doing something we need to do. I know there have been times when I had an assignment I needed to do. I said, oh, I need to take a nap first. I need to go do something else instead of getting in there. And that's just a form of procrastination. But when life hits us and we are in business, such as yourself, Sonia, I know a while back you actually had some health challenges. And tell us a little bit about that because I was very impressed of how you were able to push in the middle of the press.
So yeah, I had a battle with breast cancer, and so that was good because it did align with everything that I was teaching. Right, I'm teaching about vision. I'm called the glam coach.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it was never about how you look or anything like that. I'm called the glam coach, and all of a sudden my hair falls out, so I'm bald headed. Right, my nails turn black, my skin is turning dark, and then it's like, oh my goodness. Uh, People were asking like, "Where are you? What are you gonna do?" And so it was like, just show them, right? Let them see. It's okay. Let them see the process. And so in that, I went and took pictures. It was not, like the bald head was not as bad as I thought. It's like, okay, it's not that bad. But then people were like, well, I'm noticing uh, that you're strong in the process, right? You're not really complaining a lot in the process. And I just had somebody, matter of fact, the other day asked me who was my therapist, and I believe in therapists and I believe in counselors. And matter of fact, my first time with a counselor actually was a few months ago, not doing that process. You see what I'm saying? So they were like, "No, you don't have a therapist." I was like, "No, I really did," but it came from just really being built up in the things that I talked about right there. I did, and I was able to stay positive in that place. I was able to remember God can carry you through in that place. Whatever He does is His will in that place, and so that I think is really important, and it impacted people also from that, right? You have to look at something and say, God, what are you doing in my life at the time that you're going through different struggles? I've been through divorce struggles. I've been through all kind of real struggles in my life.
Right.
And so, what is the purpose? What is the plan? Where, if I fell off, where did I fall off? Am I supposed to get back on track somewhere? Was this something I was supposed to be doing? Is it something I'm supposed to be doing now? And so, I had a talk with my coach because every good coach has a coach,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Connie Stewart. She told me, she said, if it's just big enough for you and your family and you and yours, it's not big enough. The vision is not definitely not big enough. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what do you mean? And I had people asking me for workbooks, planners, journals, and things that I already had for my business, right? I already
Mm-hmm.
had products, but I made those products myself. And so I was like, I really don't want to give people my stuff. I really don't want to do it like me. She was like, why? So I was like, oh. And so when you look at people, I forgot his name, the financial coach. He has different people up under him. You know what I'm talking about? I can't think his name. He does finances in a lot of churches, and different people have him.
Mm-hmm.
So they have programs, and then they allow people to go in and build on that program, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I was able to do the same thing for people. And so from the hospital bed, from my bed at home, where I was able to talk to people and actually build them actual programs, books, planners, workbooks, things like that. And I've grown to do more templates and all kind of things, landing pages since then. It happened because of the process, right? It happened because of the downtime. Like I look back now and realize if I hadn't had that time, right, I wouldn't have been able to grow and do the things that he was having me to do to help others. And so, yeah, it was a journey that I didn't want to go through. Yes, it was unpleasant, and it also helped people. Some people change their mindset. It helped other people know you can go through the process and you can make it. Girl, you can do this. Or man, you can do this. You can get up and go. So no matter what it is, no matter what your sickness is or what you're doing, if you remember your purpose, if you remember the plan, if you stay and go through the process, it could be a prize on the other side of whatever you're going through.
That's good. So it kind of leads into my question because I know I'm a health coach as well. And one of the first things they asked me when I joined this team was, what is your why? What is
Mhm.
your why? Because for me, it's not just another diet, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle change. So what would you say your why was? Because many people, when you hear the big C word, they just give up, shut down altogether, get deeply depressed. But learn to push and work from your bedside. So, because you could have just said, okay, I just had my chemo, radiation, whatever it was, got under the covers and slept and wrapped, rested, ate bonbons or something. So what was your why that kept you going?
I think my why is I am a people lover. I mean, I love my family, right? I knew I had purpose and I knew I had things to do. I might not have knew exactly what it was at first, but I made sure I checked to find out. And then you said something really good just then that prompted something. You said I could have just been laid up in the bed under the covers eating bum bums. And so I try to tell younger people or people that's new to business that the real trial comes when tests happen,
Mhm.
right? People watch you. People watch how you react. People watch how you show up.
Mhm.
So how could you lead people? How could you create something for people? How could you do that if you fall apart?
Right, right.
If you're the person that's supposed to be doing X, Y, Z and you fall apart. And I heard Bishop J said not too long ago, he went ahead and just told a lot of things that had happened in his life, from
Mhm.
his kids to his son having a heart attack to the stuff his daughter was going through. Mega ministry, you got a daughter, you got a 14-year-old that's pregnant, you got health challenges. His back was out at one time. We saw him with the chair, but we didn't know the extremity of when he went off the stage, they rolling him. Like the extremities of things that can happen in your life. And so when you're at a certain point, you don't have the opportunity to fall off. And I
That's right.
think even teach our kids, we don't teach them strength in the struggle, right? Strength in the struggle is what made a lot of us. And I know, and I love, how we do it now. And we tell people to relax and do all this stuff. And it's true because we do have other ailments that can come from not taking care of yourself. So you definitely have to take care of yourself. But
Mhm.
you definitely cannot fall off of your assignment. So
Right.
whatever the assignment is, you have to find a way in the process of how do I do this and not fall off of my assignment and still take care of me, right? What does that require? Actually, in this book, my little black planner, so it's a whole planning guide, but one of the sections in the book talks about um, how many positions do you hold,
Mhm.
right? Then we talk about what do we need to keep? What do we have to keep?
Mhm.
To be trashed, right? So you have these things in life. I have an 80-year-old friend that has raised her granddaughter. You have to do that. That's not, you might not want to do it.
Right, right.
You have to do it. You might have a sick one that you have to take care of. You might
Mhm.
not want to do it. Nobody wants anybody to be sick, but
Right.
that's major, right? But at this time and stage in your life, something else might not be that major. So you have to know. And we hold a lot of tasks. We don't realize it as people. When we start writing, some people are their own beautician. Some people cut their own yards. Some people are their own maid service. You are your own cook if you're cooking all the time, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to go in. Some people don't have health insurance. You have to start diagnosing yourself, seeing what's wrong with you. We have positions at work that we hold, and within that position, we have positions, right? They
Mhm.
give you the task and management, different things to do. We have positions in organizations that we join, and we have positions in churches that we join. We have positions all over the place. If you become a mom, that's a new position. And then you might become the mom that's the soccer mom that has to drive everybody back and forth to get
Yes.
right. So that's two more positions that you play. You have other people play that position and they the little league coach. So you have to know like I'm piling all of these positions on, and we don't see it at first, but what positions can I take time out and say, I have to do this. Maybe I need to get a maid. Maybe I need to get somebody to cut the yard if I can. Maybe I need to get kind of more of a meal plan, meal
Mhm.
prep, already done thing. Maybe I need to let this go right now. Maybe I can go to church. I can help my tithes. I might not can just sing in the choir right now, but I can do other things that they need me to do. Right. So as you grow in organizations, maybe you at the head, and maybe you need to say, I'm here, but I need to sit here right now till I finish doing this. And so as we grow, we have to take and look at and assess what are we doing? What do we need to do to keep going? What is it God is really saying that we need to do? And sometimes it's time for somebody else to hold some of these places that we've been holding on to, right? And let them do some of that and let us do whatever our new thing is that we're supposed to be doing.
Right. And you said something very key. We have to know in part of our why, especially like us as ladies, women, we wear many hats oftentimes. And I can remember, like you said, I was the chauffeur for my children before they were old enough to drive.
Hmm.
And I remember as an empty nester, when I went back to work, well, I went back to school. And in doing so, I had to step back from some of, like you said, my responsibilities to church because I was over the women's ministry at the time. And I realized that I did not have the time to commit to it because I didn't want to mishandle anything that God had entrusted me with. So
Right.
I was willing to go to our pastor at the time to let him know I was stepping aside because I knew I had, a huge load of assignments, and I was not going to try to be super mom because I knew I needed, especially going back to school as an older adult. I probably was late 30s, finishing my degree or 40. And I knew that I needed to devote that time to my studies, that I didn't have that time, like you said, to be at church all the time and all the meetings and overseeing such a large ministry and a large responsibility. So
Right.
part of it is being mature enough that you know when to say no and when to step back. Because oftentimes, we talk about when we ask the Lord for something and He says no, no may not, He just mean not right now. And so that's how I looked at it at the time. For the time being, I had to step aside of that was my baby because I wanted it to be taken care of properly. And I knew that I couldn't at the time. So my question for you is, you talk about your why and you do a lot of coaching. So what if someone came to you? How do they discover what their why is, their passion? What's a snippet of how a couple, two or three things that can help that person in that direction of figuring out what their why is and their purpose? Because they're like, a lot of people said, I know what my purpose is. I didn't know mine either. It just kind of happened. I wasn't really sure what it was.
Right. So a lot of my products are based around vision, right? It is based around like, what do you believe that you're called to do? Have you looked into it? What are you good at? Right? You can grow to be good at stuff too. So what's your passion, right? And all the time we tell people to go after your passion, and sometimes you more than that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're more than that. People who fly might love what they're doing, they're passionate about what they're doing, but I have people that don't want to be on a plane all the time. That's not their passion.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you think they're traveling, they're having a good time. You talking like, no, I'm traveling because I'm doing business. You get
Right.
to see me go out to eat and snap a picture at a couple places because I took an hour to
Yeah.
right. You get to see the good part, around like what people do when they're living, what we would call the dream, but the hard work behind it is what people sometimes don't get to see. So if we're sitting down and assessing, how much work do you want to put in?
Mm-hmm.
How much time do you have to put into this? I'm very real on where you start out. Like you're starting. It's a starting point and where you're trying to go, right? And we have to look at everything that we're doing. We have to look at not only investment in time, investment in money, investment in time lost with our families or friends. So you have to look in everything. People have given up big things for where they are, right? I know people who gave it all up for their dream and their success. So it's like, what are you willing to uh, do to get to that place where you want to be? Because people want to hear from you, and we all have something to give. We just need to know, like, what exactly is it that we're supposed to give out. So I think assessing, taking different assessments, making sure you have something like for your vision that you're writing it down, making sure that you're looking on the inside, like what are these things that I need to fix. Let's tell the truth. It's some people. Let's go to the basics. Like it's some people attitude is bad. It's been bad. You know what I'm saying? You're not the customer service person.
That's
You
right.
know what's on your mind. You're not the usher at the church. You get what I'm saying? That's not your position, but your position could be, and I'm not gonna say lead management, but partial management. Like when this happens, this is the point that you do, right? Because your leadership skills are on point, but your people management skills are not, and it's okay because that's why God has certain people in place for certain things. So
Right.
when we assess what we working on for ourselves, what are we trying to change, what do we need to do, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Some people too nice to do certain positions because everybody gonna walk and run all over you. I've assessed myself a couple times. Okay, here recently. Some stuff is like, okay, in this area, no, you gotta do better. I'm just one of those people. And so you have to know, like, what are you good at? What has God blessed you to, what has God blessed you as far as even like I guess attributes, attitude wise. You see what I'm saying? To be a leader requires a whole lot. You have to be able to go in and say some things. So if you're timid and can't go in and say some things, then maybe that part of leadership is not where you should be. You see what I'm saying? So or everything could fall apart. Um, so I think we have to really go in and assess where we are, what we need to be working on, how much it's going to take. Do you have the time to put into what you're saying now? And that's why people do plans, 6 months plans, 1 year plans, 5 year plans, 10 years plans. Because my son, they wanted the sports car, they wanted to do this. They had twins. They
Right.
weren't expecting the twins. So then what do we do? Then the twins were born early. They had a lot of problems. Like they were in the hospital a long time. So then what do? You need a minivan. You got two car seats. And you
Yeah.
got this. So
Uh-huh.
your life, I don't care how you set your vision, your vision that you want. You
Hmm.
have to make sure God can have adjustments in there because He will have adjustments in there because that was not on the plan. But the adjustment is not a sports car; it's a minivan. So you have to really, really look at it, and you have to be flexible. You have to go with the flow, and it's a step by step process.
Hmm.
We all know or see where we're going. No, we're keeping faith, right? Faith in God that He's doing this. We're actually writing our vision. We know where we want to go and where we're headed, but then we're able to take do detours. Because if I hadn't listened to her on going ahead doing that and helping other people, I wouldn't be where I am now. And people do get stuck because they don't follow the direction when the directions come. And I'm guilty too. Like we don't follow all the directions all the time. Let's tell
Hmm.
but we do see people that can quickly, promptly follow directions, quickly, promptly do this, and then things can change for
Yeah.
you really quickly if you're following the leading of the Holy Spirit and where God is taking you, what He wants you to do.
Yeah, and that's good because one of the things that you said, like you said, that so many of us have wanted businesses, but I tell everyone that comes to me because I also do business coaching, is that for me, owning a business is one of the hardest things I've ever done. Uh,
Yes.
I remember early years ago, I was a real estate agent, and a realtor. Everybody look at the glam and they think, "Oh, you make money and all these houses." But in the beginning, I was spending more money and not bringing anything in because I had to market myself and go to the open houses. So the same thing with the business. You have to have a drive. Go back to your why. If this is your vision, whether it's a business, a ministry, it still all falls the same. It's the same principle because you have to have the motivation to get up and go when you don't feel like it. You think, oh, I have my own business, I'm my own ministry, I can sleep, stay in the bed, and all of this. But especially with businesses, if you don't make it happen, then finances are not going to come in and you still have those responsibilities that you have to meet. So you have to have the drive. It looks glamorous. And sometimes you put a lot of work in. It's a lot of work. It seems like all you're doing is investing money before the money actually starts to come in. And that's one of the challenges that I've seen. And I have to tell myself instead of saying, oh, you're spending money, but this is an investment in the business. You have to begin to think differently and see differently. You have to begin to have the millionaire mindset that
Mm-hmm.
this is going to pay off down the road because just like a seed, you're planting seeds into your business, into your future. Because like something you said about goal setting, you know where you are headed, but until it manifests, you have to keep pushing, keep pressing. Just like you had that ultrasound and they said you're having a baby, but there are no outward signs that you're expecting. But you
Right.
have to keep doing those things, taking care of yourself, nutrition, when you're expecting for the life that's growing on the inside of you. And that manifestation is 9 months. So I don't know why we as individuals want a quick fix. Some people call it because we're from the microwave generation. You just pop that in the microwave. Nowadays, the air fryer. You just pop that in the air fryer or that that little oven, and
Mm-hmm.
it's ready. The Instapot. we're just this instant society, but certain things take time.
Mhm.
Everything takes time, and you have to get your foundation correct before you start to build on it. So,
Right.
what other nuggets would you have to add as far as pressing when you don't feel like it? Being able to push through the press.
Well, I'm gonna go. I had a conversation with somebody. This was just recently, really recently, that were like, I'm tired. I just want to give up on some of this what I'm doing because I don't think like because they started it. It was slow. They made this. They started making this money. Then it slowed down again. Then they didn't win this contest. And then this happened. And then this is it. I'm like, you don't see the people who stick to it. You don't see the people who they've lost to. They
Mm-hmm.
kept going. Then you don't see the investment. Then you don't take the time to know to know about them, to research who they know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was at church and this man said, you see people, but you don't take the time to research. You don't get the time to take the time to know them. So
Right.
have I seen microwave people? Yes. But the journey. I've seen coaches come up overnight, married to football players,
Mm-hmm.
ex-football players. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people come up because they've drained all of their retirement or they 501. They drained their money out. And so they put it somewhere where they knew it was, you can go to somewhere where you pretty much know these people had the skills to make this work.
Right. Right.
They had enough to put into the machine up front to just make some things work. And then this is the key. God planted them and they went to the right person. Also, now I've seen and had people come to me $20,000, $30,000 in that were really I call it in elementary school, pre-K and elementary school in their business. They didn't have the money that was going to take to do the stuff that this person told them to do. That probably would have worked. But now you don't have anything. So they had no websites, they had nothing to sell, nothing to do, and
Mm-hmm.
they were depleted. And that was not that coach's fault. That was
Right.
you went to the wrong person too quick when you weren't ready. It's steps to
Yeah.
things that you do. We see people get honorary doctorates all day long.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
not we see different things like that. It happens. But the average person goes from a kindergarten to elementary school to middle school to high
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's that long of a process, but it's a process.
Yes, it is.
Because I owned one of the largest black-owned salons in Fort Worth, Texas, back in the day. And it was a process. I didn't get to overnight. I had a smaller salon that I opened up. Then I had a bigger salon that I opened up, and finally God blessed me, and I was able to meet this person with a Pizza Hut building, and they actually let me go in, no money down. I think I had like 3 months, and he gave me some more to fix it up.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And then
Mm-hmm.
he was his own, it's like that finances everything. He had his own in-house everything.
Right.
Right? So his dad died. They had a whole lot of Pizza Hut buildings and different kind of stuff that they owned. And so from there, that helped me out. You know what I'm saying? But the process before that, people didn't see. People
Right.
didn't see the struggle of the little business or that business. Then it was just like, oh, you own this business. People didn't see the struggle of when people walked out and I had to pay those bills by myself until
Mm-hmm.
new people came. It's a whole struggle. I was working times nobody else was working. I was doing late nights, early mornings. I was doing weekends. I was doing before church. I was doing the things that people wouldn't do,
Right.
right? To make sure that my house note got paid, my car notes got paid, and all the shop bills got paid. No
Right.
matter who was paying booth rent or not, that
Mm-hmm.
was going to come. And so I think you have to see, like you have to ask the question. You have to know the behind the scenes stories. You have to know the struggle. I appreciate one of my coaches when I was with Audrey. I was in a group with Audrey Richmond, and she really blessed us because she told us the truth. You
Right.
know,
Right.
you need $5,000 coaching program. Who want to pay you that? Who says that And she was like, okay, if God tell you to do it, do it. If not, we started off, those back then, $30 for 30 minutes. Who's making $30 for 30 minutes?
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Who's making $60? It's even today, if you get $60 for an hour, you ain't making it on your job. You know what I'm saying? To tell somebody information, right? And I mean that's a low end. That's low end. But what I'm telling you is you start somewhere. And she let us know, start somewhere. Keep going,
Mhm.
post, going live, letting people talk to you, telling your story, letting people know who you are, the heart of you.
Mhm.
And that's the things that people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust,
That's
right?
it. That's it. That's it. Mhm.
Right. And that's pretty much in anything. That's in a friendship. That's in a relationship building. That's on a job, right? That goes across the board. Like, uh, at work, if you telling a person, "Hey, today I'm having this kind of day," people are more likely to be like, "Oh, I see what's wrong." But when you just walk through there, they don't know. "Oh, you hurting today? Oh,
Right.
this is wrong. What's wrong with you today? Oh, I understand you going through this situation." Then people like, "Oh, they just, I don't know what's wrong with them because the last 102 weeks they've been just, no, the last 2 weeks you was going through a divorce.
Right.
Last month your mama died. 6 months before that something happened to your brother, and now you taking care of your grandma. Like, then people like, "Oh,
Right.
I understand what you're." We can't People are people. So
Yeah.
when we know situations, then we have a heart. At least most people do. And
Mhm.
that heart can let us say, "Oh, I feel compassion. I know what you're going through. I can help you out, son. Maybe I can take some weight off of your plate."
Right.
Right? So I think that we can never we hold back. Like, I think one of the best things I did was let people know what I was going through on my journey, and then let them know that I can still handle what I do.
Right. And that's so key. Is like letting people see that you are human, that we do life, and now they call it doing lifing, because but like I said, before I started real estate, when I was in real estate school, I asked somebody, like you said, because they painted this glamorous picture. So I went
Mhm.
to someone and asked them. I said, "Okay, I know what this picture that they're painting. Tell me the good, bad, and ugly about it." And they said, "Okay, you got to be able to work 6 months with no paycheck." So they
Mhm.
ran it down to me, because I would have been totally disappointed, because people talk about, "Oh, I'm a $1 million seller or $5 million seller." Yes, they didn't, didn't tell you that $1 million sale is the amount of houses that you've sold, not necessarily the amount of money that came in your hand. So those type of things. Yeah, this has been really good. We are going to. I'm looking forward to you coming to the Austin area, because one of the things that we're getting ready to do is we're having an event coming to the Austin area. It's called. I just did it in Little Rock. It was Little Rock, Arkansas. It was a huge success. That it's manifestation time. I will be there. Sonya's be there. Dr. Sonia Burke will be there, and Dr. Burke will be on next week. But we're going to give you real, relevant, and raw information. We're going to be very transparent about what's going on, and we all have a desire. We all love Jesus. We all love the Lord, and we're going to help you if you want to be unstuck. That regardless of your age, regardless of your demographics, we're going to show you how to walk through that process. And then once it's over, the three of us are available to do one-on-ones to walk you through the process. So at the bottom of the screen, you're scrolling, you'll see where you can actually go and register for this conference. We're gonna have a light lunch there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be in Round Rock, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin. So would love for you to come to be a part of it. Very, like I said, it's gonna be an intimate setting, not so intimate that it's just a few, but a very few. I would say it's going to be under 100 people. So you'll be able to ask questions. There'll be material there. We're going to have handouts, but there'll also be material that you can purchase and sign up with some of the coaches and stuff there. And Sonia, I'm just so excited about you coming on tonight to share, so that people can hear about it. You didn't really scratch the surface, but just want to kind of whet the viewer's appetite about who you are and what you're doing. If someone wants to reach out to you to find out more information, how they can contact you, the Glam Coach, I just love that. And like she said, it has nothing to do with fashion. And what does the Glam stand for again?
The G stands for get up. The L stands for love yourself. The A stands for affirm your belief. And the M stands for you can make something happen right now in your life, honey. Your career, in your business with God by your side. So look, you can do it.
Yes, yes. Thank you again so much for being with me. Those of you that we're back. It's been a while, but Fatal Distraction is back. You need to tune in each week, invite someone, set your ticker, and get ready for what's next. And like I said, sign up. Those of you that are in the Texas area, hop in the car and come on over to Round Rock, Austin area. It's in April. So it's a great time, and the location is not far from the Outlet Mall. We have one over in San Marcos. So if you, like you said, you found out what to do and how to do it, and you want to have some girl time, load up your girlfriends, and come on over. We have plenty of places to eat and plenty of places to shop. So just want to thank you again, those of you that tune in to the show, and tune in next week.
Hold
And
on, Gretchen, hold on.
okay.
Let me tell you something. I would say anywhere from 12 to over 80, 100. I just saw Iris. I don't know if y'all saw that, the designer. She was 80 years old when she started making her big reveal was 80 years old. So
Wow.
we showed her like all this time, not that she didn't have a good job, but at 80, she became like a fashion model. She was getting deals with people to model. And she like, I'm 80. You like, what am I gonna stand up there and do? We have Colonels with Colonel Sanders, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Never
Mhm.
too old and you never too young, right? I have this little girl, the South Boss here in Houston. I've seen her grow, right? And she's been on the Shark Tank as a young person.
Mhm.
So you come in and you see what God has for you, right? I've seen growth in people, y'all. Y'all come out there. We are excited. We want to
Yes,
have fun.
yes.
We're not just gonna be talking at you. We're gonna talk to you. And y'all follow us. Follow me at S Pelton-Sam on Instagram. That's S Pelton-Sam. DM me and say hello, say some things like that. Let me know you coming. Go to www.theglamcoach.com and get your freebie. I'm always giving out free gifts. There's a couple of them on the top of the page and toward the bottom. One says freebie vault, and go get my app. If you have an Apple. Now, if you're on Android, I can't help you. You know better. But if you're Apple, go on over and get lunch, like you're launching to the next level. Lunch your vision. It's 21 days that can change your life. So I'll see you soon. Okay, Gretchen, back.
All right. That's it. It's a wrap. So good night, everyone. See you next week. And thank you for tuning in.